Hello, and thank you so much for joining us on Fightful YouTube for your AEW Dynamite post-show, Sour Grap style, kind of. Normally, Sour Graps means me and Alex Pulowski, but I'm actually here with Alexi. So get in your super chats, get in your humper chats at humperchats.com. Please do leave a thumbs up on this video. We have a new AEW World Champion. We had some developments that happened on the show that we're going to get to. I'm so happy for Vicky, who's in the chat. Very excited about that. Sean Rossap is, I was going to say off tonight, but he doesn't take off nights. Sean's always on the grind, but he's in Vegas for WrestleMania week. I believe tonight's Naomi Rosenblum's art exhibit, so he is there covering that. And there was an interview on this very YouTube channel with her. He's going to be loaded with interviews all week. He's going to be hanging out at Cabana's poolside at Le Cirque, but I think I sort of have a solo post show today because, well, Alexi, do you want to state your business?
Yes, as the Bulgarian puppet / lawyer for my client, Alex Pulowski, I am here as promised to tender his resignation from Fightful because Darby Allin won the match. He cannot, in good conscience, continue to cover wrestling as long as Darby Allin is the world champion. So, as the lawyer, I have prepared a statement. So, here goes. Okay. Alex hereby resigns from Fightful because of this terrible thing that has happened. We live in the darkest timeline. Obviously, there's a lot of worse stuff than this, but this only helps to contribute. Also, we will be filing a lawsuit against Tony Khan for emotional damages. Less than a month after he brings back Chris Jericho, he puts the world title on Darby Allin. The Outrunners continue to exist. This is an outright attack on the well-being and mental health of my client, and it shall not stand. Thank you.
I am not able to accept that resignation, unfortunately. So, I'm not Sean. I don't have the authority to do that. I'm not Jimmy Van. So I don't know what Alex's contract is. He's a day one original here at Fightful, much like Darby Allin. So I don't know how that goes. He might have been on a Legends deal at this point. With some of the rants we get from Alex Pulowski, I would be shocked if he wasn't on a Legends deal. So you're gonna have to negotiate that on his behalf, Alexi. I don't know what to tell you.
Yes, well, actually, hold on. My client actually wants to speak against the advice of counsel.
Oh, no.
My client wants to speak on his own behalf.
This is a terrible idea. Oh, all right.
Hi.
Hey, Alex.
That wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. So we're going to tear up the resignation. It's fine. We're not going to file the lawsuit.
Okay.
We're not. We stand to get a lot of money out of this. You do realize that he's got a lot of money, and we could get some of it. We might even get part of the Jaguars.
I don't think it was going to go that way. I may have hired you in, a moment of weakness, in anticipating that it might, go bad. So,
I still get paid my fee per hour, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Okay.
It's got to be like looking in a mirror. We have a lot of super chats and humper chats up front, and I just want to thank you guys for your support on it. Alex, you're normally chronological guy, but I think we might have to.
No, we should do all of the Darby Allin stuff back to back to back to back.
That is
obviously fair. We will start with the opening segment, such as it was. We will continue with backstage with Grandpa Crow, and we will continue with the main event match, if you can even call it that. But we'll talk about all that stuff. And yeah, please get in your super chats and humper chats, and we'll be talking about this probably, I think, a lot. There wasn't a whole lot of else to talk about on this particular show, so we will talk about this a lot, I think.
Amanda already given us a a lime here for Alex's legal fund. Norma says, it's honestly a lot cheaper than therapy. Thank you all. And Jim Dukers, Big Jim, saying it's not Showtime, it's Alex time, which I appreciate. And Ryan Sully off the bat here, becoming a new member. Thank you so much, Ryan Sully.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got Meet Norma saying, Alex, may the gabagool be with you and your soul, bruv. We appreciate this so much.
Yep. Yeah.
But Alex, we have a new world champion.
We do. We
It's your,
we do.
I would say it's not your favorite wrestler. It is Vicky's favorite, which makes me happy. Ryan Ben saying this is one for the Vicky victory lap. Congrats. I always like it when people just get to be excited about their favorites becoming champion. That's really fun.
Yeah.
8 Young Nasty Man 8 saying, I really hated that. I feel like an itchy trigger finger on TK's part. Alex, please breathe and stay hydrated. Thank you, Puppet Alex, for filling in. And Melissa Cabello also becoming a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Alex, yesterday on the NXT show, I said something that broke your brain, which was, I wish they had done the Natty Maxine angle with Natalya and Kendall Gray. I think it would have been really effective. And you said, "Oh my God, we're on the darkest timeline," and that continued through tonight for Alex's perceptions of the darkest timelines. But I'm going to throw it over to you. And quite frankly, I'll probably hang up and listen for some of this. But
the show started with them just saying the match is happening. And I was like, well, if they're doing this first, maybe Darby doesn't win. But they introduced him. He comes out. Everyone's very excited for Darby. They're in Everett, Washington, which is close to where he's from. So, and then they play MJF's music, and I missed the backstage segment from Dynasty Night where he said, when Renee was going to tell him, hey, Darby wants to have this title match on Wednesday, and he just basically talked over her and said, I'm going off social media. I'm going dark. I'm shutting off my phone. I don't need. So he apparently, the story was that he found out about the match even taking place tonight when he got to the building a few seconds before he came out for the opening thing. So he was not prepared.
Sure.
And he comes out, he's in a full suit and everything. He's got the Burberry scarf. He has a microphone. He says, no, stop. We're not doing this. You think I'm defending my title in a match I just found out about 3 seconds ago? That's definitely not happening. And then he gets the promo that we all know that the person who eventually loses and makes Darby a champion is going to cut to him, which is, you're not ready. Like, you're really good and everybody loves you, but you're not championship material. And I seem to remember John Moxley cutting this exact promo to Darby. And when he took Darby Allin's title shot from him, and then they never paid off that specific angle, which was odd that they didn't do that. But they're paying off this one because they ran the angle on the same show. So they didn't have time for Darby to decide to go and climb a mountain. They just said, we're going to do this now. And Darby gets very emotional. You can tell these are not crocodile tears. This is not a wrestler pretending to be emotional. He was obviously very anticipatory of all of this. It was really getting to him. I started training 10 miles down the road at the Buddy Wayne Academy. This is my hometown. My family is here. My friends are here. If I'm not ready tonight, I'll never be ready. Let's do the match. Ring the bell. And it was like, no, not ring the bell. Look at me. I'm not. I can't do this. And then Danielson gets on the microphone. And
also from Washington.
Yeah, also from Washington. He's also a local hero. So they would like hearing this from him. But he has been told in his earpiece by Tony Khan that not only will MJF absolutely do the match in the main event, not right now. But if he does not do the match, he will be stripped of the title, which feels like an overreach on TK's part.
Sure.
That feels like that's just a thing that you decided to do because we all hate MJF. But really, that's being a bad boss. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't been checked out by medical since he got here. Maybe he's not cleared. This is a terrible thing for Tony Khan. Tony Khan also not like in storyline. Apparently, great dude, loves but also sometimes not the best manager of his heel talent. You know what I mean? as the guy who runs everything, he kind of sticks them with some stuff. And so the match is made official for the main event. I thought that that Darby did a very good job here of getting this build to this pathos. If you are, I know, if you are a person such as me,
falling?
If you are a person such as me who does not like Darby, this is the kind of promo that you need to be able to be like, okay, I guess if he won tonight, it wouldn't be terrible. He's not going to be the champ forever. I mean, he's here. He's obviously very emotional. Like, okay, fine. Like, that's basically where I was after this promo. And I was like, he's going to go out. He's going to wrestle the match of his life. MJF is going to MM is going to make him earn this title. They're going to go out there. They're going to probably start the main event at about, let's say, 25 till the top of the hour, and then have a 15-minute overrun. It's going to be like the best wrestling match of Darby Allin's life. That is what I thought after this opening segment, because how could you not? After what they did, after how they presented him, like it really felt like you would, in order to beat MJF, who has been basically unbeatable against the top competition, Darby Allin would have to wrestle the match of his life. He certainly wouldn't win the title in a 3-minute fluke. That would be insane. So after this opening segment, I was like, okay, let's see how good Darby Allin really is, because I fully thought that was what I was going to get to see later.
I loved this intro to Dynamite. If you make Renee Paquette yell straight up, by the way,
Sure.
in like the pre-tape, you've got me hooked. Him calling Don Callis the mensch of the cinch pops me quite a bit. And I like that they also acknowledged that, like, in MJF finding all this out, he was like, oh, okay, well, your boy didn't do his job, and he owes me one then. Which I thought planted an interesting seed for later, and I think comes into the fact that the match didn't even have time to develop for him to get there. But I also liked that pre-tape, and I think there was maybe this idea that, like, WWE's not strong going into their biggest weekend of the year. Maybe there's going to be new eyes on the product, so let's show them what we can do with that. And the way that they bookended the show made a lot of sense in that regard. I had the same thought that this was basically the Jon Moxley promo. Here's the hurdle for me. And I agree with you that Darby did a very good job tonight. I like this side of Darby. I like seeing him be affected emotionally rather than have, I have a friend at the Shining Wizards podcast that calls him Darby Avant-Garde because he's got these weird films and a skateboard. I like this better. I like the sincerity better. But for me, like less than a year ago, this was like MJF kind of pulling on the same strings Moxley did. Less than a year ago, you set not only like the stage for him to win the world title, to save the company. And he went and climbed a mountain. Like, I'm sorry that I'm just not through that because you haven't done anything like he's been protected and he's won a lot, but he hasn't had like overarching stories that feels like, all right, I climbed that mountain. Now I need to climb this one. Like, I'm not over because it was less than a year ago. Like, I don't feel like this is the guy that like, is built to be the world champion right now. Now, on the other hand, I don't think this is going to be a very long world title reign. So that's okay. And I think we'll talk about it in a minute. But like what we did get from the match is he's probably going to have a couple of matches after this where he proves to himself that he really is a champion, and he drops it pretty fast after that. I would think is where we're going with this. But we got a whole bunch of chats about this, Alex. Do you want to go through them, or do you want to get through kind of the rest of these segments?
Well, no, let's if they're pertaining to the opening segment, let's do that. If not, let's wait until we're talking about the main event so we can get through all that. But,
I mean, they're all over the place, but
okay.
We have Tim McFowell saying that I was in Alex's camp until today. I will admit to being a big mush, and they got me at the beginning of the show with all the emo stuff. Maybe that's why he was so good at it. Like, the guy knows emo, clearly, so he should be able to emote.
Yeah.
But I think outside the SGS Echo Chamber, this will be well received, especially if it's short. There's a lot of people that I think are in the place of, and I'm not in this place. There's a lot of people that say, I buy it as long as it's transitional. There's a lot of people that say, I'm happy for Darby Allin. I don't want him going into Wembley with this title on his shoulder. And I think that's going to be the case. My concern is the other half of this too, of like, this has felt to me like and I've liked MJF. This has felt clearly to me the best work of MJF's career.
It has, for sure.
Your houses are up. Your ratings are up. The momentum is up. And I'm kind of like, from the product standpoint and from the scene has felt so interesting of all these people going after the title. What does taking it off MJF do to that? Now, we saw Ciampa later in the show.
Yeah.
Kind of set some things up here. So I'm cool with them continuing to nurture it. But yeah.
Yeah. Ryan Adams says, if MJF went dark on social media, then why didn't Alicia tell him, his wife, who also works at AEW, tell him about the match until today, unless she also went dark? And I don't know.
Look,
I don't. Like, maybe they did a thing. I don't know.
Look, she's already married the guy. How many more gifts does she have to give him? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I guess that is true.
Like, he's got to be a pickle to live with. Like, come on.
Yeah. There was a before Darby goes out there to have the main event. And they did this thing that Excalibur said, as we see MJF walking to the ring, we're going to our last commercial break. The main event will be presented in its entirety. And I was like, all right, 20-minute overrun. Let's go. Let's see. And then Renee interviews Darby, and he barely even gets to talk because here's Sting, who shows up, and Darby can barely form words. He's so nervous. And he says, well, you got any advice for me? And says, you ready? Go out there and do what you do. And he's like, all right, it's showtime. And then Sting utters what is, in my mind, one of the most forced and overwrought scripted lines in the history of wrestling. It's not showtime. It's your time. I just hung my head. And it's stuff like that. When I feel a bad writer in the writer's room having done, oh, perfect. It's not showtime. It's your time. Perfect. When I can feel that, I go, that's where wrestling loses me. And so there are a lot of people I know who loved that line that was not for yours truly. Like, that felt really, really forced. It's showtime. Let the kid have your catchphrase now. Like, it's showtime would have been cool. Just let him say it's showtime. Yeah. That's yours. Like, do that as opposed to forcing the weird thing, because it doesn't even rhyme. It's not shore time and your time. It's show time and your time. It doesn't work. It didn't work.
I honestly, a lot of people are having strong reactions to that specific line. I did not care about that much. Because I was just like, oh, that's nice that they brought Sting back for this moment. Clearly he's going to win. I also liked that Darby was so nervous because of what he said in the beginning of the episode of, if I'm not ready now, I'm not ever going to be ready. Felt like how that guy was walking down the hall. Like, that guy psyched himself out. And I really liked Bryan Danielson on commentary saying, like, that extra hour, 15 minutes, hour and a half or whatever, probably did wonders for MJF, but it didn't do that for Darby. Like, Darby's now less confident. He's now more in his head. He was ready to fight at the beginning of the show, and I thought that was just a really, really nice touch. I'm glad that they brought Sting back for this. I'm not surprised that they brought Sting back for this. But I was unprepared for what came next.
Obviously, you bring Sting back for this moment. It's like it's his protege's biggest moment of his career. Like,
sure.
For the first few years of Darby's career, up until a couple of years ago, like, he was associated entirely with Sting. And, like, it would be weird if it was this moment and they didn't bring back Sting for it. So I fully expected to see him. And I actually liked the pan to him backstage.
Yes, but that was well done.
To me. I saw somebody disagreeing with me about that. What was the thing? What was the line that they said? Okay.
This one?
Yeah, probably not.
TJ Ridgeway says,
no lie, the Sting, it's not showtime, it's your time. Have me ready to run through a brick wall. Me too, head first though. Also in canon, the headlock takeover win rate is crazy. Yeah, that's another thing that they brought up earlier in match. Darby said, I'm going to beat you tonight with a headlock takeover. Which is, of course, what MJF said to him. I'm such a better wrestler than you. I'm going to beat you with I could beat you with a headlock takeover. And then he did, after knocking him out with the Dynamite Diamond Ring. So in this case, they brought that over again. And the headlock takeover is a finisher you cannot kick out of. If it's used as a transitional move, really, it has no power to it. But if you use it as your finisher, that's it. It's curtains. Nobody kicks out of the dreaded headlock takeover.
Well, what I loved, like, MJF is such a classic heel, right? That's, I think, very well documented. Mm-hmm. That's like the summation to a perfect traditional heel face story that has run now 5 years. Yeah. Like, that I think is really cool. Like, I feel like MJF was psyched about this because it's such like hey, that table we set 5 years ago, we're going to capitalize on it now. And there's been one story beat in between, I think, is something that's really cool, honestly.
Yeah. When we do the main event itself, again, I did think we were getting a real wrestling match, because what does it prove if Darby doesn't win it in a real wrestling match? So it doesn't prove anything. That's the problem, is that you've got the mascot for AEW. Like, everybody who but me loves this guy and is rooting for him to finally win the big one. If he doesn't really win the big one, then I feel like it does more harm than good, because what happens is MJF tricks Aubrey into looking the other way. He's like, oh, I forgot to give you my Dynamite Diamond Ring. Here it is. And she goes and hands it to the person over that you hand stuff to by the scorer's table. And while her back is turned, he kicks Darby in the junk. And then Darby gets to his knees and does the flare up between the legs low blow, which is enough to get MJF in a position to eat 4 straight coffin drops. And then he picks him up, puts him over into a headlock takeover, and pins him. And that's how Darby Allin finally wins his first ever world championship. Maybe his only? I don't know what the plans are for him, like, further down the line, but, like,
it's so tricky with Darby, because you're like, I feel like he could be a 3-time champ, or he could just be like, oh, sorry, I decided I wanted to build the world's biggest skate ramp, and it's going to take me 4 months, but it's really important to me personally to be in this Guinness Book of World Records. Right. So, like, I don't know what that is for Darby. Mm-hmm. I think there's I don't like it, and here's why. I feel like what I said at the start of the show about people maybe tuning in to see AEW for the first time, or the fact that the show was bookended to maybe indicate that that's what they believed, shows me that you should have a different main event here, so that people can see what Darby Allin can do.
Right.
And I don't feel like that's true. Now, if the story moving forward is Darby doesn't even feel like he's a world champion and he's got to find ways to prove it, maybe against Tommaso Ciampa, that's a good way.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah.
Or you're leaving the door open for a rematch with Max, or he was so nervous and jittery. Like I actually want more stories like this. I just don't think it was the place for it, because this happens in fights. People get knocked out. Like people lose in a couple moves, and it seemed like he thought the only chance I have in hell is just capitalizing the second that I'm able to, and he did that. This is minute, but I was kind of bummed by the camera work, because you could see what MJF was doing to make the move safer for him and for Darby. You could see the way he was angling in his body. I was like, oh no, if only the camera angle was like a little bit more flesh.
Right.
I did appreciate MJF. The way he kind of naturally got himself into position for all those coffin drops didn't seem like, and now I'm rolling to the corner here. Like he did a good job with that, which since that was the end.
To me. After the second one, I was like, they're going to do all four corners. And so him like rolling toward a corner and then stopping a perfect distance from that corner to be coffin dropped. Just keep rolling to the outside. You're the champion.
I don't think
you can win if you get counted out.
I don't think he was supposed to be there for that, though. Like, especially because it's getting compounded, right?
I understand. It's like, you know how much I hate the coffin drop.
Yeah, I think I like the coffin drop. Like
MJF has spent years now getting his body in tip-top condition. If you drop a 50-pound pillow on him, he's going to shrug it off.
If you drop 120 pounds of dead weight on someone.
Yeah. Anyway, it's the problem I have with this is not the problem I thought I was going to, which was, I think somebody else is in here who says, Noise says, I had stuff going on, so I missed Dynamite, only to come home and find out Darby won after MJF killed off the god of wrestling. Awesome. And here's the thing. They are not saying with this that MJF out-wrestled Kenny Omega. He beat Hangman at his own game. He was able to beat Brody King, the most dangerous man in all. They're not saying
he won
that
Texas
after
Death.
all of that, Darby was better than those other guys that MJF beat. They are specifically saying Darby won in a fluke. Now, you can do something after this where Darby beats somebody on an episode of Dynamite, and it's a tough match, and he wins clean. And then MJF gets a rematch, because after tonight, he's got to get a rematch.
Yeah.
MJF gets a rematch at Double or Nothing in New York, and they do have the greatest wrestling match Darby Allin has ever wrestled, and MJF wins by cheating, because he always does. That's you can salvage Darby as a wrestler with stuff like that happening over the next month or so. But tonight, you cannot tell me that Darby Allin looks like he was the better wrestler than MJF, because he wasn't. There was a fluke. It was a couple of traded low blows and some coffin drops. Like it was a fluke. They built it to be a fluke.
Yes.
After all of that pathos, after him coming out and saying hello to his entire extended family in the front row, he went up there and won in a fluke. And because MMA is not scripted, and a sudden knockout in boxing is just a thing that happens, in wrestling, it is scripted. So this feels like, to me, where those really heartwarming videos you might see on social media of a kid who's on like the middle school basketball team who's developmentally disabled or injured or sick or something and never gets to play, but everybody really roots for him. And at the end of the game, the last game of the season, they give him the ball and everybody clears out and he runs up and hits a layup and the whole crowd goes wild. Even the other team's fans are cheering for him, because when he wins and everybody in the back comes out to go, yay, Darby, when we know he didn't actually win a match, he just won a fluke. it really feels like you are scripting this moment for Darby to be less than what it could have been, which is him wrestling his match against MJF, the world champ, and winning, which is, they could have done it, but they didn't do that. They did some other thing. And the thing they did was this, like, especially they really didn't need to capture certain people. The last image of the episode is Darby, emotional, bent, kneeling over the AEW title, and the only guy behind him you can still see who is cheering for him is, I believe, Matt Jackson, who's doing this. And he's firmly a baby face now. Like, he should be, yay! But he's like, I guess, I don't know. What are we doing? Like, it just feels like this was a lot of build-up, and really good build-up, I will say, to a match that wasn't even a match. And that's a weird choice to me to make for the pinnacle of Darby Allin's in-ring career.
I think if the story coming out of it is Darby has to do it for real, that's fine, because going into it, that's kind of what the actual belief has been around him, right?
Yeah.
Like that maybe he's not main event caliber, etc. So if his short title reign is effective in a way that says, I prove that I'm actually a champion, I'm much more okay with this in that context. I just wouldn't have done it from the perspective of, I think they thought there's going to be more eyes on the show tonight. Yeah. And I also feel like the nuance of Darby knowing how MJF is, that he's going to come out of the gate with these tricks, and everybody does, but him, like, I got from a story perspective in this very short match, I got from Darby the desperation of, if I don't do it now, one, I'm never doing it. Like, in my career, I'm not going to be a world champion. And two, this is my only shot to win the match. Like, if I get the upper hand in this match, I have to capitalize immediately or I'm not winning. Sure. I want more matches that tell that story. I just don't think this was the place for it.
If Will Ospreay attempts a pin on Moxley after that first hidden blade at Dynasty, he wins the match. He's the Continental Champion right now. But he wanted to actually wrestle a full match. Like, I guess what I'm saying is, in a different context, I probably wouldn't even like object to it at all. But like, we've been tiptoeing around this whole will Darby Allin ever be the world champion thing now for like a year and a half, maybe more. And when they finally decide to do it, they do it like this. Yeah, that just feels like a really weird choice to me.
It does. Oh, go ahead.
You go ahead. I was going to read a super chat.
We got a lot of chats. That's what I was going to
read. I was going to read them. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Meet Enormous says, going to my 5th Dynamite in 2 weeks. First with Darby as champ. I promise not to sing Judas or cheer Mr. I Like Turtles. Maybe Wardlow or Keith Lee shows up. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be nice.
I hope that happens for you, Meet Enormous.
I hope it happens for me.
1916 Batman says, this was a fun idea during Mania Week. I think that is a lot of it. Is that a fun idea during Mania Week is a cool little sting to twist to it. Honestly, it's very much a situation where I want to see how it plays out. He says that he agrees with a lot of my booking, but Darby as a champ for a month or so works. I mean, I think MJF winning it back and becoming now a 3-time champ when like nobody else can say that except for like Moxley. Yeah. Like, that's another thing that he gets to hang over people. Like, he'll turn it into something. And I feel like him, I do think it's a lot better with him going into all in at Wembley as champion and Will going after him than it would be Darby. So I do think that's true. Jambeard says, I'm seeing people compare Darby's win to when Luger beat Hogan on TV. There's a people comparing it to that. There are people who are comparing it to the Mick Foley win over The Rock. And I actually booked a thing in my head, as I often do, that makes me so angry that either nobody else thought of it, or they did think of it and they didn't do it, or it wasn't available to them to do. If you basically wrestle that match where MJF keeps cheating and keeps cheating and keeps cheating, and eventually there's a ref bump or whatever, and MJF's like, "Ha ha, I won," or whatever, and I'm gonna get him. The Stone Cold moment where he comes out and thwarts the bad guys in that match, and he just drags Mick Foley over on top of the Rock. And it's a lot of it is Mick Foley wins his first title, but a lot of it is also a personal FU from Stone Cold to the Rock.
Sure.
If they did a moment like that, and the guy playing the Stone Cold role was Hangman Adam Page.
Oh.
Because he's the Stone Cold of AEW.
Yes,
and also he would be getting Max back for Max stopping him from ever get to being champion again. And this could be the next one of the arcs of Hangman.
Sure.
You made it so I can never be the champion again. I'm going to make it so you're never going to be the champion again. Like, that could be interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff that they could have done here, but they chose to do this. And for a lot of people, that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. But it is a deliberate choice that does feel odd to me.
For me, how much I like this will depend on the next several weeks of programming.
Right.
I do agree. First of all, I love that idea. I love Hanger coming back. I had this thought with Hangman of like, if we were going to get there with more time, him like trying to meddle in everybody else's paths, because there's so many people going after the world title right now. Hangman like meddling in everybody else's path to get to the championship because he can't, just trying to live vicariously through everybody that's going after it, I thought would be really fun. But I like this idea. And I also liked this from Spidey Boy, who says, after this, I have a feeling Max is going to brutalize Sting on Dynamite to get Darby to give him a rematch. I could see that. A rematch at Double or Nothing. It's in New York. People will...
Oh, I definitely think we're getting a rematch at Double or Nothing. I just don't think that Max needs to brutalize Sting in order for Darby to do it. Darby has no self-preservation whatsoever.
That's a good point.
He just agree to it. Like he's like, you know, so I think that might be right.
Especially because this is going to set Max off. Like he's going to lose
this is good. He's going to be so
which is going to be fun.
All of this, and I totally get it. And Skim Wilk, which is a fantastic name, says MJF is too hot, and I don't think the payoff was worth it. It will be forgotten soon, and MJF will be champ again. Could have just kept it on him. I mean, I think that this is a moment here, like it's part of the MJF arc. This loss to Darby, Darby winning the title. There's nobody better for him to have won it off of than MJF. Like in the micro, it was Moxley because of that particular moment that they did there. But in the macro, there's nobody that you will cheer Darby Allin beating more than MJF. Peak asshole MJF. So this is the right guy for him to do it to. I just don't think it was the right way. However, I fully believe we are getting a rematch. And in that match, the match I thought we were getting tonight where Darby wins the title will be the match where Darby Allin loses the title. So then what do you do with Darby is the thing that you might see.
I also think sometimes you have to make a concerted effort to show that interesting things happen on your week-to-week TV because AEW is such a pay-per-view heavy company. Mm-hmm. I think that's even more true. And I think MJF has said in interviews, like, he's a big fan of the Triple H Reign of Terror era, and there was a lot of this kind of stuff in it. Like, there was a lot of lose it and throw it back. And I'm not saying hot potato it back and forth forever, but, like, sometimes it's good to catch people off guard with this kind of stuff. It makes you need to watch the product a little bit more than rather playing paint by numbers with everything all the time.
Yeah. Other Mikey saying MJF with the flare trunks. It was so obvious. Space Boy saying AEW longtime sicko here. I am paying money just to voice. I hated Darby won by a squash against MJF. It's like it's like the botch ending of the Sting Hogan feud. Except it's not a botch. It is a specifically intentional thing. Like they said, this is how we're gonna do it. That was the choice they made. you can decide, it's up to them to tell you with their booking going forward why they made this choice.
Right.
But this was a choice.
Which honestly, like, I would rather, this sounds weird, but like, I would rather, like, I don't like it. How much I don't like it will be determined over the next couple of weeks. At least you did something. Like, there's so much on weekly wrestling programming where I'm like, can you take a risk? Like, I really appreciate, even when it's one I don't like, I'm like, thank you for doing something. Like, do something.
Yeah.
Because I'll like a lot of them, and other people won't like those ones. So it's important to do stuff like that. It's important to make bold decisions like that so that people have reactions to things like that. I think it's vital, and I think it's getting lost with the oversaturation of wrestling. But that's a different discussion for a different podcast.
Yeah. Spidey Boy says, I love Darby, I do, but this just didn't hit for me like I wish it had. Also, is Max just going to win the title back at Double or Nothing? The long-term plan is still for Will to beat Max at All In, right? I'm going to tackle the last couple of things and then go back to the first. I do think Max wins the title back at Double or Nothing. It's in New York. It's a huge heel heat moment. He takes the title into All In. And yes, for the love of God, Will Ospreay wins the title, the world title, at All In Wembley in London. Can we please just do the thing that is the correct thing to do? Now, it may not be that he fights MJF for it. It may be that he fights somebody else for it. Because Kenny Omega also seems like he's thinking about, maybe I do have one more run at the title in me. We'll talk about that little scene later. So maybe that's a thing. Like, we get a Kenny and Will match there. But I do think Will wins. He has to wins the world title. He goes in without it, and he comes out with it. Wins the Owen. Goes in without the title, leaves with the title. That's a thing you should do. Please just do that thing. The other thing is, this is a person who loves Darby. And this does not hit. This is the other thing about it. I'm sure Vicky, it hit for Vicky, and everything Darby does hits for Vicky. But there are people like with me who I'm like, if Darby's going to win the title, I don't like Darby. I don't want him to be the champion. He was going to win the title. He should do it by winning a match. You know what I mean? Like, on general principle, I want the world champions to win their titles via actual match. And then there are people who love Darby and wanted to see him be a better wrestler than MJF, and he wasn't. So I don't know who this is for, except for Vicky.
It's for Vicky, and that's kind of the only one that matters. But I do think it's the beginning of a story where Darby has to prove it to himself and to everybody else. Correct. So, like, I understand the impetus for doing it that way, but I also understand people that are fans of Darby Allin feeling shortchanged in that. Like, it's in his hometown, and it's a 5-move match or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I get that. Yeah.
Ryan Adams says, if this reign is long, I have no idea what they are doing. If it's the Jeff Hardy 08 WWE title reign, fine, I guess. Never been a Darby fan. I don't think it's long. I think that, here's the thing, is he can be the kind of guy for whom the moment of winning it is the big thing. To me, though, if the moment of winning it comes at the end of this long arc to get to this point, and he wins the match by having the match of his life, that to me is a crucial point of that kind of arc. If you're going to have a guy whose whole thing is about literally climbing mountains, and one of the mountains he climbs has the AEW world title at the top of it, then he shouldn't just get to, like, ride a helicopter up there. Like, he should have to actually climb the mountain.
I was going to say, he climbed Everest. Maybe he just wanted a mountain that wasn't so hard. Maybe he's just tired. He's like, not so bad, this mountain.
This was a hill. You know, Everest was very big. Was Darby Allin's mountain. This was Darby Allin's molehill.
There you go.
Like, it was just
kind of respect it, honestly. In that
Skim
context.
Milk also says, I can't shake Darby's Chris Van Vliet comments last month. I did not read or see those, but I am really unplugged. It's better for my mental health. I don't know what he said. So
the only ones that I remember were him just talking about like that everybody who was there wants to be there, and that egos have disappeared. It was kind of just that's all I remember was just the reiteration of that point. But apologies if there was something greater. Jeremy Lambert would know the answer. He writes all those.
Corey says, I think Darby versus MJF being a 10-minute minimum match instead of a squash match would have made the new World Heavyweight Champion seem more impactful. I agree. I agree. I mean, it doesn't have to be the 40-minute thing that I thought it was going to be, but even if it's 8 minutes of really good wrestling and then MJF blatantly cheats, and the response to that by Darby is to do what he just did right now, but like it's 8 to 10 minutes of real wrestling up until that point, I still feel like that works. It just can't be like low blow, 4 coffin drops and a headlock takeover. There's no way you can call that an actual match.
I mean, I think it's weird because it's a championship win that serves as a story beat. Like, I feel like those are usually crowning achievements of a conclusion of a story, and this feels like it's the beginning of one in a way. Like it feels a little bit off. I don't think this is a long title reign. I don't think we're in danger of that. Well, I don't want to say in danger because there's
Wombat in Combat says, I heard Max is going to film a movie. I have not heard that.
Take your woman on a honeymoon, okay? She already has to deal with you. She's already traveling with you week to week. You married her.
Maybe he's filming a movie in like Bali or something, and she gets to come with.
If it's another Adam Sandler flick, that's why he does all that. He's like, I want to go to Hawaii, so we're going to film it in Hawaii.
Lieutenant Photo says, I wish it was more of a match, but after the video spotlight with Renee today, I loosened my hatred of Darby as champ. Please, short reign. I love a guy who loosened his hatred of Darby as champ is also still begging for a short reign. So, like, you know.
Well, the phrase loosened my hatred doesn't exactly scream, I completely 180'd and changed my mind. Loosened my hatred is what I try to get you to do on a weekly basis.
Doesn't work, though, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Parker Hines says, I'm not offended by this. Especially if Darby's reign lasts till Double or Nothing. He'll wrestle Tommaso and lose it to MJF or Kenny. Like, again, this is a thing they've done, and we just have to see what they do with it coming out of it. But I just do think Double or Nothing is the time to do it, unless he loses it. Would do it at Forbidden Door, and like at that point, if he keeps it through Forbidden Door, they're not taking it off him before Wembley. So time's wasted. Let's just
he won it
on
TV. He could lose it on TV.
That is true. AW King says, "Hey guys, I thought it was good, but I didn't think they would take the title off of MJF. Also, so excited for the next 5 days. This is it's a weekend. There's a lot. There's a lot.
It's a lot, and then it just starts up again. So, but yes. I will say, I actually kind of miss having Stand and Deliver on the weekend. I don't miss it from the fact that we'll get to sleep in a little bit, but for better or worse, bad build or not, like it's WrestleMania weekend, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Jam Beard says, I'm perfectly fine with MJF's title run being just over 100 days and losing to Darby, but I really feel like Kenny should have won at Dynasty. It was more important to Tony Khan that Darby Allin be the world champ now than it was for a long-term build to Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, and Kenny Omega doing everything he possibly can to keep hold of that title because he knows once he loses it, his career is basically over. Like that, to me is what that backstage thing between Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega was, which was really compelling. And I personally would have preferred that to this, even if taking my irrational hatred of Darby Allin aside, taking that away from it, Still, I would prefer Kenny Omega winning in Vancouver and then slowly becoming the guy who cannot allow himself to lose the title no matter the cost. That, to me, would be a lot more interesting than Darby Allin wins in a fluke. Let's see what happens at Double or Nothing, I guess. You know.
I just have a tremendous amount of respect for anybody who says, pulling my irrational hatred aside, I don't think that this Darby Allin reign means that's not true. All In is at August 30th this year.
But they
Double
take
or
a
Nothing
long
is May
time to tell
24th.
stories. They take a long time to tell stories. That's
Okay,
the thing.
but the diverticulitis story has been going on for years now.
Yep.
And on top of
now
that, you
Will
still have
Ospreay has diverneculitis. He's in there clutching himself like the entire match with Hechicero. Hechicero's dropping him on his noggin, and he's out there. God, get the doctor in here and check my diverneculitis.
If Will Ospreay still has to win the Owen, and we still have to get through Forbidden Door, I don't think Darby Allin holding the title for 6 weeks is going to preclude anything you just said.
We'll see.
And they had an opportunity to maybe do both. But we will see. Listen, we don't have the pencil.
We'll definitely see.
You guys have been amazing with the chats today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. To take a page from Cresta, I'm sports confused. Max lost 2 matches in less than 2 minutes as world champ. Weird booking. We need puns. Love Jens. We're not doing puns tonight. But thank you, Greg. The 2 matches, the one being the match to get Brody King his world title match, is something that I thought was a clever build to get Brody King his title match. Like you've got to beat me in order to face me. And I thought that rather than being a fluke was MJF allowed himself to be distracted and Brody King put him down. That to me is different than this. But because Brody King at any point, if you walk into a piece of offense from Brody King, that might be curtains for you. So that to me feels different than this, but I agree. It is 2 of them in a span of 100 days. And this
I actually
felt differently, but yeah.
I kind of like that. That's a weakness that MJF has. I think the real question is when is the Captain Shawn Dean going to get his shot? Because he's 2-0, undefeated against
should
MJF.
Probably wrestle a match on Dynamite at some point in the last 3 or 4 years.
I mean, the women's tag champs don't have to, so I don't understand why Shawn Dean would.
I guess that's true. Dilla Common says, Alex, just remember, it could be worse. It could be Darby and Jericho hot potatoing the title between one another until All In.
Why are you trying to kill my co-host on WrestleMania week? That's just rude.
That's just see now. But here's the thing. That's terrible. There's another thing. Somebody here who said here we go. Trip My Ego says Jericho versus Darby at Wembley. I just want to see Alex's face as that idea enters his mind.
Mean.
Are you kidding? You put Darby and Jericho in the same match during a 5-hour show? That's when I go get to make a sandwich and take a nap. You know what I mean? I got to stretch my legs at some point. That's a perfect time. I just won't watch that match. That you built in a bathroom break. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I just feel like the chat is turning on you as if they've become the Judas in your mind or something.
Yeah. So here we go. Darby is most likely going to do a title match each week, says Dan Beard. My guesses will be Ciampa, Kevin Knight, Brody, Andrade, and I don't know. I cannot handle him. I cannot handle him beating Andrade a second time. The first time was just so he could have this match. I will not be so kind to watch Andrade lose to Darby again. I will not. I won't.
I like the idea of Ciampa a lot. Kevin Knight,
yeah,
I don't need.
I
don't need.
know that's happening.
Yeah, I don't think we need champ versus champ. Brody, I've seen it too many times. Andrade, I think now, and MJF are going to have some words. Now, versus IDK, we haven't seen IDK pick up any wins in a while.
No.
But I've always been high on IDK. I think he's great. I feel like his time in New Japan really changed him, and I feel like he became a better wrestler for it. So of that list, I'm like Ciampa and IDK. I think.
Yeah, because obviously we know MDK, which is murder, death, kill. IDK is illness, death, kill, which is really sad because it takes a long time, and you have to watch your loved one waste away. I prefer murder, death, kill over illness, death, kill, but that's just me.
After that one, let's read some nice ones. Let's read Unk Dong saying he won't be champ, let the kid have his moment, or champ long, let the kid have his moment, he deserves it. They definitely have a window here to do something that will accelerate Darby and not derail a lot of the...
They did let the kid have his moment. He won in 4 moves over the guy who just beat Kenny Omega in 40 minutes.
Some moments last 6 weeks.
No, hold on. And then they emptied the entire locker room to come out and cheer for him. I don't know what kind of moment he needs more than that. They did a thing. The moment he's going to have is the moment he has for as long as he has the title. But I do not think, I'm not saying that, listen.
I feel like you're contentiously agreeing with the chat.
In jest, what I'm saying is, in jest, I did say during the Dynasty review that if he wins the title on Dynamite, I want him to lose it on Collision. Correct. That's hyperbole. I think he should keep the title until Double or Nothing.
Yes.
I think that is a 6-week title reign ish. You have the opportunity to do a lot of interesting stuff between now and then. I think the better story leading into Wembley is with Max as the champion. So that's what I think you should do.
Not a fan of Stan Drew. Are you Saint Andrew or do you stand somebody named Drew?
I believe he's Saint Andrew.
Oh, I did not know you were canonized. I feel like the super chats should be a different color when you're canonized.
It could be Street Andrew. Remember how we found Women's Street?
Oh, yeah. Either way, not a Darby fan, but his heartstrings got pulled. He says, but I'm almost 40 and maybe should see a doctor. Who knows? If your heartstrings get pulled.
Yeah. If you're experiencing chest pains, it might be your heartstrings being pulled.
Elenesca.
Yeah. Hellboy says, Max cheated first. This was for me, Darby fan here. All right. Cool. I mean,
I love it when people get to see their favorite wrestlers win. That's awesome.
Yeah. I guess if you don't have standards for how your favorite wins his first title, more power to you. I definitely do. If Mustafa Ali had won the world title sometime in WWE with this match, I would not have been happy. And there was no bigger stan, Andrew, of that dude than me.
I've said it a few times, but the way the next few weeks are going to be booked on this is a big part of it.
That's going to determine a lot about whether or not this choice was a good one or a bad one. And
I agree.
We'll just have to watch and see. Brian Peterson says, please have MJF attack Sting in a backstage segment to keep the fuel on this feud. I mean, that'll definitely do it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also I'm looking forward to the part where Max goes nuts too. That's going to be fun.
Kimchi says it was just reported Max is going to be out a few months filming. That is bad news. That's bad news.
I'm intrigued to see what a few months is.
Brian more or less says, hear me out. Darby beats MJF at Double or Nothing to prove himself. Swerve takes it from Darby, leading to All In. Ospreay beats Swerve at All In. I like the way you think. That's great. Fine. I'm good with that. You are never going to get me to say no to a Swerve versus Will Ospreay match.
Oh, the best
ever.
I think what we saw with Kenny today indicates that there's something happening in that way.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Let's see here. Jambeard says, also, I don't know how long Hanger will be away, but Darby 200% would be the kind of guy to offer him a match to get around the stip. No getting around the stip. You wrote it in. You cannot just go, hey, you want a match? Like, no, I said I was never going to. Well, I'll give you one. Okay. That would make Hanger the worst kind of liar. I do not want that for Hangman. Can't
I also
allow
don't.
it.
I don't want that in general, and I definitely don't want it to be the next thing he does when he gets back on screen.
Yeah.
I would actually really like it if Darby made the offer and he declined. Mm-hmm. Like if Darby was like, hey, man,
Again.
I don't get here without you, some
Yeah.
kind of like really sweet thing. And he's like, man, I can't. No. I said I wouldn't. That would be awesome.
Lieutenant Photo says, tell me Darby isn't the type of guy that holds a world title open challenge weekly or even on both shows. Yeah, he would absolutely do that. He would absolutely put himself through that kind of thing. That's the character he is and the person he is. For
100%.
Sure. Let's see here. Brief sidebar. Jordan says, Darby aside, thoughts on AEW and NFL lucha masks? It seems a very niche thing. I do think it will come in very handy for certain cities in the north of our country around November and December. Those home games in Buffalo is going to sell out the Bills lucha masks. I'll tell you that. But like people going to Soldier Field in Chicago, like putting on that thing, at least it'll keep your face warm. Put some of those little hot hands up inside the lucha mask. Keep your cheeks nice and rosy when it's 12 degrees below zero. I think those will work. I don't see how it works in like Tampa. I feel like you would just sweat profusely the whole time.
I think you're going to see a bunch of wrestling fans buy the ones all over, and I think you're going to see a bunch of people who girlfriends or boyfriends that came to games with their friends that are freezing also suddenly rushing to buy lucha masks. They don't even realize they're lucha masks. Like, I had the exact same thought you did of like, these are going to do real well at those cold games because it just covers your whole face. I think they'll, like how people used, like, I think they're called gaiters, like those half face things. Like, people are just going to have these and they're going to love them. And then on top of that, you're going to have wrestling fans that are buying them because they're a collector's item. They seem very well received from what I saw. I think they're cool. I wouldn't sneeze if I got a Steelers one, but I'm just more of a t-shirt gal, honestly. Like that's just what I'm looking for is fun t-shirts.
Okay, good. N. Simmons says the plus is when MJF and Will clash for the title at All In, MJF can say, "When I lock in, I win. You, on the other hand, lock in and always come up short." I mean, that's certainly something he would say in a promo with Will Ospreay.
No, don't be giving that out for free.
Sure.
You got to charge for those lines if you're going to be writing their promos for him.
J.J. Pringle gives his greetings late and says, late to the party tonight. Much love, SGS, and much love to amazing Alex Killicate and, of course, powerful Papa Paul Elizabeth. If you do not watch our Tuesday shows, there's a guy whose name is J.W. Pringle who has a loving correspondence with the father of Kate. It is a thing that goes back, I believe, 4 years, and it's always been fun and consistent the whole time.
And to be explicitly clear, my dad does not watch any wrestling, has never showed interest in it. He just loves me so much that he watches our post show.
Greg Cherry sends in a very nice chat and says, gonna film content now, but just sending in more to show love. Love yins. Have a great rest of the show. Thank you so much.
At some point, we'll get to talk about the rest of the show, but you guys have been awesome.
Greg Cherry proving that not only ridiculous a-holes come from Pittsburgh. For every Pat McAfee, there's a Greg Cherry. You know what I mean? Isn't that nice? So, kind of evens out. Let's see here.
Greg Cherry's here to save the biz.
Matthew Plus has shown up and says, Happy Jackie Robinson Day to all who celebrate, which is a fantastic non sequitur. And yes, Happy Jackie Robinson Day.
It's awesome, and I'm very suspicious he hasn't said something weird or mean.
Yeah.
That's not the bit.
No, it's not. Let's see here. We got that. Jim Duker says, it's not Showtime, it's Alex time.
Yes. I thought we already read that one. If I
did,
didn't
I don't think I did it.
Shame on me.
So then here we go. This last one, Lucas Corso. It's all for the kids. Says,
It
seeing
is.
this moment is going to be a core memory for my daughter. Darby has always been her favorite wrestler. This was beating the beg. I don't know what that stands for. At his own game. Pure happiness you could feel through the TV. Yeah, I suppose if you want to talk about he kicked me in the balls and I hit him in the balls and I did 4 of my finishers and I did a headlock takeover, is beating him in his own game. That's great. And I'm really happy that your kid is happy. I'm as a father, I'm always happy when my kid is happy. So that's awesome.
Good. We did have this chat that not to get hot at you for, but like, not gonna lie, AEW is losing a lot of goodwill with me. Having Kamille on and then a wrestler named in Speaking Out winning the world title do better. I'm sorry. The equivalency there is bullshit. I'm sorry. Like, I'm very, very pro-choice. Posting that you're pro-life on the morality scale of pro wrestling of all fucking things. Well, I'm sorry, that's some straight up bullshit. Like, that cannot be in the same sentence as speaking out allegations, and there's only so much more to say on that aspect of it. I think we've all called it out ad nauseum for years at this point, but you cannot call being pro-life. And I have friends on both sides of that. I have a friend who had an abortion, and she regrets it every day of her life. I had friends who it saved their life. You cannot compare those two things. I'm sorry that if that seems like hot, but that's just so much bigger than wrestling. And to me, it reads as like wildly unfair, considering how many like men are probably pro-choice and have posted about it, and it never gets called out. So like if that's the thing that you're mad about Kamille coming back for, that just reads as bad faith to me. And I can't let that sit. But Alex,
yeah,
I think we may
I
be
think so.
at the end of the chats, which means we're going to take an ad break because we've been talking for an hour without one. Normally I have a cute little segue to NordVPN, but
don't even.
Today we're just going to play this ad. I will say we've had a lot of great feedback, not only about Nord, but we've been hearing a lot about my AEW. And what a great service that has been for people. And if you want to get it a little cheaper, this is how you do it.
NordVPN.com/Fightful is a must-have for our viewers. Watch all of WWE's content with one Netflix account. Watch WWE shows that normally air on broadcast platforms on YouTube if they're missing from Netflix. Then get your AEW shows in a much more affordable package if you don't want to deal with cable and pay-per-view providers with that My AEW account. But save big now with NordVPN.com/Fightful and get 4 extra months. 30-day money-back guarantee, but you go there, you click Get the Deal, and the plans start at less than $3 a month. They go up to a whopping $6.33 a month on average and include things like the VPN, email, phone, credit card, and national ID monitoring, scam call protection, 1 terabyte of cloud storage, a password manager, Nord Protect. It's got malware and browsing protection, everything you need to browse safely, securely, and affordably at NordVPN.com/Fightful.
Don't be a nerd, get Nord. Alex, there's, I think, some...
It's not nerd time. It's Nord time.
Is it showtime? No, it's Nord time.
There you go.
I agree with this. Jane Beard saying Darby should give El Cluis a title shot.
Yeah, but that's the problem is with El Cluis. Not just because I work with him, but he's one of my favorite wrestlers, and I'm sick of watching him lose big matches.
The other thing is, like, selfishly, like, I don't want El Cluis to get a title shot because I need El Cluis here in the chat.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Monitoring what's going on.
So there was a scene we've talked about a couple of times. We're going to briefly touch on it because we've been talking for an hour. Kenny and Will commiserated over being hurt and losing their matches at Dynasty. Both sitting there all sweaty and broken in the trainer's room talking to each other. And this was... they were both talking about, like, you know, Kenny's like, I just can't do this anymore, and Will's like, I'm broken, I'm hurt too, but you can definitely do it. Like, yeah, like he's just, well, I was there when you lost that match in 2017 to Okada, and you thought you were never going to get there, and then you did. It's like that was 10 years ago.
Love that.
It's not the same thing anymore. It's like, but I know you can do it again. And then as he leaves, he goes, "You're my hero." And Kenny's like, "Hero? Maybe it's not too late." And so I love this because Spidey Boy says maybe do Will versus Kenny as finals of the Owen, or maybe they do it at the Forbidden Door. I think they're doing Death Riders versus United Empire for Anarchy in the Arena. That might be interesting. Anarchy in the Arena. But like Will and Kenny in the finals of the Owen would be really cool. I loved last year how they put Hangman and Will in the finals.
Yes.
And we all thought Will was winning. But when Hangman won, that was also a really good outcome.
Yes,
like
I agree.
When you build a tournament and you put the two top dudes in the tournament in the finals, and they're both great wrestlers, and them winning that match would be good either way, all of a sudden that match becomes so much better to watch because you know you're not getting screwed if one of the dudes wins. Like you get to root for a great match, and I just hope both wrestlers have fun and don't get hurt. Is the perfect way to watch a match like that. And if it was Kenny and Will, that's really interesting to me if you actually do it that way. However, Will would need to win this one since All In last year was in Texas and Will has no connection to Texas.
Correct.
But Will needs to go into Wembley with the title. I'm sorry, he just needs to happen. It needs to happen.
So this was really, I really liked this because there's got to be some modicums of truth to this for every wrestler that is above the age of like 25, of just feeling like, am I too broken to do this? It was nice that we've been joking about the diverticulitis and the diverneculitis, right? But like the fact that those two characters that are on similar journeys interacted with each other in a supportive way is just like a really nice interaction. Mm-hmm. I have worked myself into this idea of Kenny and Darby having a promo where Kenny says, "You only beat MJF because I softened him up for you days before. And when it came to saving this company, I was in a hospital fighting for my life, and I came back to help you and climbed a mountain," like I've been saying, would be like really, really good fodder, I feel like, for Kenny to have maybe not a full heel turn, but a chip on his shoulder about like why he needs to get back to that title. If it's like, if they're doing Kenny and Darby at Double or Nothing because Max is out or something, and then you have Will Ospreay win the Owen, and then everything is great, and then they put on a classic.
I would be very wary about trying to have anybody who's not a heel beat Darby because of that mascot status he has with the fans. That's
fair. That's vulnerable.
It would be a thing to like it would not. People would be like, well, I would normally cheer Kenny, but I don't. I mean, like, it's Darby. It's our guy. He finally won the title. I don't want him to lose it. So you put a guy in there who's going to get a whole bunch of heat by beating Darby. And Kenny, I think we want to cheer when Kenny wins the title. We really want to be able to do that. So him beating Darby would be weird. However, I love the idea of him somehow being the champion and while champion turning evil. And not evil, but just becoming a little bit more cutthroat because he feels like as long as I'm still the champ, I can still do this. As soon as I lose, I'm vulnerable and I might not be able to do this anymore. So he does whatever it takes to hold the title. Could be really interesting. The other thing is that I think there's so much more meat left on the bone with him and Swerve.
I agree with that.
I kind of love the idea of the light and dark side of the Force with those two guys, and Swerve coaxing him to the dark side and Kenny resisting, but eventually not being able to. There's some really cool stuff that they can do with a lot of those things. I'll just talk now about the Will Ospreay and Hechicero, which was badass.
We do have
Josh,
a couple
it was
chats
great.
that I did want to read. Tom LaValle saying Ospreay is suffering from diverticulitis and took.
I was gonna get to it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That happened.
Okay, well, I'm doing my best. We got a lot of them tonight, including this one from Vicky that says, "Hi, Kate and Alex."
I'm looking at the document right here, Kate. It's listed on the document like right underneath this match. We're about to talk about it. I was saving that for the post-match beatdown because I wanted to talk first about Hechicero and how he's amazing and how I know how amazing he is because Bryan Danielson says if you don't have this man in the top 3 technical wrestlers in the world, you're doing something wrong. And I was like, well, I mean, I probably had him at 4, but I guess I'm doing something wrong. Like, he's amazing. I love Hechicero so much. He's tremendous. And Ospreay working against the diverticulitis, which I'm going to continue to call it that as long as they keep making it about that. He's really good. He's really so good at selling it, and he's really good at making the match about it. I just wish he didn't have to make the match about it forever. Maybe by Forbidden Door, we don't have to keep talking about how his neck's hurt. But I know we're going to keep talking about it for the next 2 years. This match was tremendous. To me, the best match on the card. I really love this. It is odd though to like put the CMLL World title on Hechicero, and then on Dynamite he just keeps losing matches. I feel like you put a title on him for one of your partners. You should protect him a little bit more on TV, but that's quibbling.
When Bryan Danielson calls wrestlers scientific,
yeah,
there's part of me that swoons. He's so great on commentary. He's been such a breath of fresh air when he's available. This match was super fun, and Hechicero was, quite the cake-coated wrestler, and that he is big and beefy, but also technical. I love watching him work, and him and Will just had really good chemistry. In the beginning, it felt a little slow, and then when it picked up, it picked way up. Like, I really, really liked it. And I also am a little tired of the beating us over the head with the story of like, oh, he has this vulnerability. But I will say, because it's something he and Kenny are connecting on, I find it a lot more palatable because it wasn't like they are just doing this to be like, so that the heel can target this vulnerable part of you. It's now a connective tissue between two guys who are on the same journey. And so for me, it's a lot easier to watch that unfold. Yeah. And I also I had a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah. So Tom Valley says Ospreay is suffering for diverticulitis and took the close your eyes and count to F. His poor neck and poor fiance. So after the match, he gets up on the turnbuckle because Don Callis is out there doing commentary for Hechicero, and he gets up on the turnbuckle and after Hechicero loses, Don Callis is just screaming about Plan B, Plan B, Plan B, gentlemen. And because Marina Shafir is in the front row watching the match, Will Ospreay is staring at her. And then sees a bunch of, the goon squad of Don Callis surrounding the ring, but doesn't see Mark Davis get in the ring and attack him. And he does the close your eyes and count to F. Like that pile driver looks the craziest. But these guys used to be friends. Mark Davis has absolutely turned evil. And also, speaking as a guy who has lost 39 pounds since February, I need to talk to Mark Davis about what he's doing because that dude's svelte.
Yeah,
yeah,
he got in shape. Yeah,
I mean, he does not look like he's slimmed down in the midsection so much. Good for him. I know how hard that is to do, as I'm doing it now. Good, that's awesome. He looks so intimidating and great. And Patchy says, I don't care about Darby. Can we talk about dangerous Mark Davis getting a singles program with Ospreay? I don't think you're going to call it a program. I do think you're getting a match, and I think it's going to be brutal and badass and awesome, but I think it's going to be a one-off. But I cannot wait for that match to happen on Dynamite.
One of my favorite things with Mark Davis is that like lariat off the ropes that he does. And I'm like, oh, that's going to look so nasty with Ospreay. There's some nice, because United Empire lore is making its way onto screen for Forbidden Door season and the angle with Callum Newman and Will Ospreay too. United Empire used to include, who we affectionately knew as Aussie Open before Kyle Fletcher got shot into the stratosphere of being incredible. And Mark Davis unfortunately had some injuries. So there'll be some nice history to play off of too, for those who maybe aren't caught up to speed on that. I've been hearing a lot of people be like, I don't know New Japan lore. This is all confusing. So I'm sure you'll get that in a promo somewhere. That match is going to be super fun though. And I'm so glad that like we've gotten to see Mark Davis continue to grow into who he is in the stable, because he's been so snake bitten by his own injuries and tag partner injuries, but he's just a fantastic worker. He's just so much fun to watch. Like I have so much fun watching him work.
Yeah, he's really, really great. He's one of my favorite big men to watch work. He's just, he works like a big man without being plodding.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's the thing about it. You don't like, oh, watch him do a dive. Like he didn't need to do a dive. He works like a big man without being like, stomp, 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 punch to forehead. Like he still works like a big man without having to be that guy. You know what I mean?
Not stomp, 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 punch to forehead. Oh my God, you just don't appreciate good big guy wrestling, obviously.
I guess I don't.
Stomp, punch to forehead.
What I did appreciate though was folding Marina Shafir watching Will Ospreay into this backstage Jon Moxley promo. I love that. AEW do that more, because this is obviously a pre-taped. But you pre-tape this beforehand, and then later you send out Marina Shafir live to watch this, but it dovetails perfectly. I love this. So as he's talking, here comes Marina Shafir backstage. He said, how do you look? Rough? No green around the gills? Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, Will Ospreay, you set yourself up for, like, I knew what I could do to you. And I did it, and I beat you. Make no mistake, everybody thinks I take pleasure in violence. I don't, but it's the nature of the business. So, things are going to happen. And then he turns. This was a really great promo from Mox, really great. And then he turns this thing to like. Then he looks at Daniel Garcia. He's like, "What's that kid's name? Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne. That's right." We got this. Yeah, you're going to be swimming with the sharks tomorrow. Congratulations. However, this is big boy stuff, so maybe leave your mommy in the back. I was just like, oh, it's great. And I'm really excited to see Nick Wayne back on AEW television. I know he's been back and healthy and cleared and doing stuff on ROH for a while.
Yes,
he's the ROH TV champion still, even though he was out with a broken foot for a year. It felt like. So like that hotly contested belt in his absence, I'm sure. But I love watching Nick Wayne. He will be cheered in Buddy Wayne territory. I want to see him against, I want to see Moxley put the kid through his paces. I still think Nick Wayne is a future, like, top dude in this company. He's still stupid young, and he's just coming off an injury. But I really want to see how he develops through his early 20s, because he's no longer a teenager. Like he's got like might actually still be. But what I'm saying is like he can't be treated like the kid fresh out of high school anymore. Like now you actually got to start making him into somebody, the guy he's actually going to be, and I'm really excited to see who that is.
I'm also just excited for what this is going to look like in-ring wise, because I feel like stylistically it's going to be very, very fun. And I feel like Moxley always does well with guys like this, because he knows, like, he just knows how to make them look great. I'm also very excited to see Nick Wayne minutes on AEW.
Yes.
That'll be very fun. And this is a nice way to, not every match is like monumentally directly tied to a current feud or whatever. So
No.
this is like a nice way to just kind of like have something intermediate happening. I agree with the dovetailing. Always dovetailing, team dovetail forever. Dovetails a woo, like 100%. I love it when they do that.
I'll even settle for a pigeon tail.
Sure.
Come on, let's go. More aviary plumage posterior. Let's go. Come on.
This is like when I said, you had said to somebody, I think Bianca, not like a spring chicken. I was like, no, like definitely a summer or an autumn chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a lot of foul with us between Duck Hudson
It
and...
is true. It started with Duck Hudson. We'll talk more about it. Tim McFall says, I had an idea. What if Will Ospreay won the Death Fighters' respect, and they join him to face the Don Callis family in Stadium Stampede? That could be a fun and unexpected wrinkle. It would be fun. It would be unexpected. It would be fun. I don't know if it's too unexpected to be believable.
Yeah, I think the bridge to get there is the stumbling point that I'm having. I'm not against it, but I'm trying to just figure out what that looks like.
I don't think him winning their respect is the issue. It's the fact that Jon Moxley tried to murder him and end his career. That they would need to win his respect.
Yes.
Which is the thing that we would have to see how that would work. Let's see here. Okay, going back, Tommaso Ciampa defeated Desmond Xavier. Good match. Tommaso Ciampa is really, 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 really good. Anthony Velasquez says, you know how Rusev is Alex's special boy? Well, my special boy is Ciampa. I know it won't happen, but can we have Ciampa beat Darby for the title? That would be a hell of a thing to do. If they ain't doing it. But wow, what a way to get absolute nuclear heat on Ciampa. And also to oh no. No, don't do it. Don't do it. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No. I just realized what the next step of that is. The next step is Mark Briscoe beats Ciampa to become the world champion. No.
Mark Briscoe, Will Ospreay, Wembley Stadium, your dream match.
No. Wait. No. Wait. No. Sorry. I just we're talking about the darkest timeline a second ago, and no.
And we're suddenly back there. Yeah.
We're back. No, but I do want Ciampa cutting the promo saying I want all the gold and I'm coming for the top gold right now.
Yeah.
He looks like $1 million. He's doing great stuff. Beat Ace Austin, beat Juice Robinson, beat Desmond Xavier. A guy who's on a win streak calling out for a title shot is a good thing. Do this all the time. All the time. A really talented dude who looks great in wins against other solid competition, 3 of them in a row, has a license from me. It's notarized and everything. He has a license to grab a microphone and say, I would like a title shot. But if you don't do those other things first, then I don't give you the license away.
Ciampa's just awesome. Like, it's been such a breath of fresh air, A, to the product, to have someone like this kind of in the upper mid card, and B, to just get to see him wrestle. Like, he in WWE wasn't being utilized even close to this, and this is my favorite way to utilize Tommaso Ciampa, so I'm glad to see it. I'm so struck by his ability to be so creative and so hard-hitting. I feel like sometimes when you're as hard-hitting as Ciampa, you don't have to be that creative because the story is like, look how hard he hits people. How do they get up? Are they concussed? But he just finds really creative ways to work with people. And I feel like in AEW, because it's a new roster for him to face and the styles are so varying, like you get to see him kind of like up a level because he's working. 1 week it could be someone from CMLL, the next week it could be Mark Davis. Like there's such a versatility there that gets TV time in AEW that WWE, that's just not how they do stories. So it's been really fun getting to see Ciampa enter the fold. I love that he's on a win streak. I love that he's calling out for a title shot. I think if he loses to Darby, it aids him and aids Darby because it'll just be like Ciampa's like, I can win everything but a title around here, huh? And Darby will be like, if that doesn't prove it, I don't know what does. Is a good way to go about things. So, I appreciate that. I also just wanted to call up because I came in hot on this chat before.
Yeah.
Saying sorry for the confusion, was definitely not comparing those two things at all. I just miss early AEW that felt like the non-right wing, non-sex pest wrestling alternative. Darby as champ feels gross to me. You're totally entitled to feel that way. I've said this a few times, and I stand by it. And I throw an addendum onto it today. It shouldn't have to be this way. But I think wrestling fans would have an easier go of it if they just didn't hold wrestling to a moral high ground. It shouldn't be that way. And it certainly can feel like it sucks when it's your favorites or whatever. And then today I said, I feel like, wrestling fans just have to stop expecting other wrestling fans are going to wear deodorant. It's just not going to happen, no matter how many times you tweet about it. Like, people that choose to be smelly are going to choose to be smelly. So, neither of those things should have to be that way, but it's just easier to accept it around that. But that's not to dismiss the emotional weight of that. Like, it sucks when there's people that you are inspired by that let you down in some sort of way, but wrestling just has and is and will always be not a place of moral aptitude.
No. It is, of course, the Darbist timeline.
I can't do his theme, but I was going to try and bring it.
It sounds kind of like that. FTR showed up to take time away from a women's match that could be on the card. I don't know what I assumed if you were going to do this and say how great you were and how we've beaten everybody and there's nobody else for us to beat. I don't know why would you do a promo of we've beaten everybody and there's no one else for us to beat if you don't have a team waiting backstage to walk out and go, you haven't beaten us yet. Like, I don't know why. What does this promo serve if it doesn't end with new challengers stepping forward? Because it's just like, we can't be beat. Nobody can beat us. David can't beat Goliath. And now we're going to pose and make fun of Edge and Christian. But this took it felt like it took 7-8 minutes. Like, it just...
It's also weird because this is where Copeland debuted, was Seattle. Yeah. So I was a little confused. Like, I was just expecting him to come out. And
he's going to be on Collision.
He's going to be colliding.
We're going to hear from Adam Copeland on Collision. So,
rare Stokely miss, in my opinion. Big Stokely fan. Was a big Malcolm Bivens fan. We've been covering this man's work for a long time. The David and Goliath promo thing felt like it didn't go in the direction. It either needed to be, he's such a goofball, he doesn't know the end of David and Goliath, or, but it's not going to end that way with FTR, and it was just a little ambiguous on that. I get where
it was supposed to be in real life, Goliath always wins.
Yeah.
But that was not part of the promo. But I do
a little more explicit.
I do love the idea of what you said of so there was this giant named Goliath and this little kid with a slingshot named David. Now, I fell asleep on that day in Sunday school, so I didn't hear the ending, but obviously Goliath kicked his ass. If that had been it, I think that would have been funny, but that was not how they did it.
I feel like he could pull off both of those directions, too. That's why I was like, which way is this going to go? And then it kind of went neither way. Now, he did say tag champs from CMLL or New Japan are going to have to show up, which feels Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door, but that's 2.5 months from now?
Yes, but if it's the Knockout Brothers, your girl's going to be a happy camper.
Okay, fine. But what are we doing between now and then?
Well, I don't know. I don't write the show, but it sparked something exciting for me.
Great. Set up the Knockout Brothers or whomever coming from wherever for Forbidden Door, but you have a long time between now and then, and you shouldn't. This promo should not be on television until the end of the promo is the guys you've chosen for them to face at Double or Nothing coming out from behind a curtain.
I agree that this promo could have been an email. I agree.
For sure. Kevin Knight defeated Claudio. Very good clash of styles. Claudio is excellent as always. Kevin Knight gets to prove that he didn't just win because it was a gauntlet match. And then he calls out whoever is going to win the title tonight. And which is why I think people are thinking maybe Darby does a lot of defenses between now and Double or Nothing, because one of them against Kevin Knight, I guess, makes some kind of sense.
You know, it's so funny because before you said, like, this might be Darby's only one ever, and I'm like, I kind of could see him being a one-time world champ, multi-time tag mid-card champ, with one reign that has, like, 8 defenses in it, and is, like, super affecting for his character, and that's it. I could also see that not being the case, but, like, I think that's a good first and maybe final way to go with him. I don't know why you said there was a Styles clash in here. This AJ Styles wasn't in this at all.
I said I said a clash of styles, but it's fine.
I don't know why you took the long way to say that name.
Chris Jericho appeared to be interviewed by Renee Paquette. He was this time his jacket.
I mean, you just loudly sigh on air. I'm like, I've done my job.
This time his jacket was red and sparkly instead of purple and sparkly, so he's branching out. I'm telling you, if this all isn't an act, it's the worst baby facing I've ever seen. It is so fake and phony. Wow, it's sure. You know, I do love being a part of AEW when I'm here in Everett, Washington. Like, it makes Punk feel sincere and genuine.
Gross.
When he comes out and goes,
to be alive.
Great to be alive and blah, 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 blah. Like, it makes that feel genuine when like, wow, Everett, Washington. Wow, I can't think of a better city in the world than Everett, Washington. And I'm like, what is this? And then, listen, I think I actually found something. I used to call him Dad Rock Jericho. Now, I think we found something worse. Dad Joke Jericho. Because he is interrupted by Ricochet. Ricochet, you got away clean. Ricochet, you beat the man in the first match of the feud. You stole his finishing move. He wasn't calling you out. You were out of the vortex, and you voluntarily went back in. Ricochet, no! And now he's out there, and now you just get to see Jericho just say bald. But Jericho said bald. He was doing, remember the old Weekend Update gag where Kevin Nealon was the subliminal guy, where he would just work in the thing that he actually meant while he was saying the thing. I read this. I saw the new music video by Madonna, Hot Sex. Boy, what an amazing artist she really is, Hot Sex. Like that was Kevin Nealon's gag in like 1988. And Jericho was just like, I'm going to do that, but the only thing I'm going to say is bald in between everything that I say. And everyone's going to think it's great because everybody loves Chris Jericho for some reason. They all forgot how terrible he is, but I didn't.
The chat is saying bald quite a bit. Okay, we got enough bald. If this is going to be an ironic thing with him as a face that's... It feels very Jericho to do this heel character coded as a face. Like, it feels like a character he would do. So I'm hoping it's leaning that way. Mm-hmm. He's also not a great face, so maybe he's just not, like, comfortable. Maybe. But there's definitely, like, they're running this back because there's a numbers game thing. I'm gonna be risky in what I'm about to say next, because if you survive Darby Allin being champion, I believe you will survive everything. I kind of didn't hate the bald thing; it kind of made me laugh. The one that got me was when he goes, "Everett, Washington, bald." That one got me really good because that one caught me off guard. Right here in Everett, Washington, bald. No, I was here for that. Maybe that's the thing that puts you over the edge. I didn't mean to, but I feel like I'm risking the chances because I think if it was going to happen, it would have happened earlier.
You would like the bald thing. Like that is so you coded. Just you know why? It's just you being a scooch. It's just Jericho being a scooch makes you, the inner scoochness of you, blossom and bloom.
It does make me blossom and bloom, but Alex, not everybody can blossom and bloom. You know that?
No, not everybody can.
Or everybody, like most people can, but some people need a little bit of help.
Yeah. They need help with their blooming and blossoming.
They do. Sometimes it's just like there's, it's their flowers are wilting rather than blooming. And if you're a lady or a fella, or that person sends you an eggplant at 2 a.m, it's ready for better sex. And you should be too, and that's where Blue Chew comes in. They've been on a mission. They are men on a mission for years to get you bricked up, build your confidence, and help you actually perform in the bedroom. Their new arousal-boosting formula, Blue Chew Gold, is helping millions of men have better sex in 2026. And while most ED meds only focus on blood flow, Blue Chew Gold is going to keep your match lasting longer than Darby Allin's earlier, I gotta say, by combining 2 ingredients for blood flow and 2 ingredients for mental arousal and connection. So you're not just physically ready, you are actually in the mood. And this type of innovation is why Blue Chew Gold is the #1 brand in erectile dysfunction. So don't let your mind get in the way of a good time. Discover your options at BlueChew.com, and we've got a special deal for our listeners right now. When you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you get the 3rd for free with the promo code FIGHTFUL. That's promo code FIGHTFUL. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast and helping everybody bloom.
Jericho calls out Ricochet to face him one-on-one right here in Everett, Washington, bald, and
yeah, no, that is for me.
It totally is. And Ricochet says to Toa Leona and Khan, "Don't come down there and help me no matter what." And then they do, because Jericho somehow gets the better of Ricochet. But then they beat him down 3-on-1, and Ricochet hits now he calls it the Rico Salt.
I gotta love that too.
It's fine because it's Ricochet. Ricochet can do whatever he wants. He's awesome. But they beat him down 3-on-1, which means Jericho is going to get a faction together. He's going to get people to help him. And Jambeard says, "I think Ollie and Luke from Wrestle Talk might be booking to annoy Alex because they booked CNC to help Jericho." CNC is definitely not Cope and Christian is definitely not done with FTR. Like FTR says, you'll never challenge for these again. That's going to be a thing that they'll figure out a way to make it happen. They're going to do that. So here's the guys that Jericho's actually going to get. The Outrunners. Those are the guys that Jericho's actually going to get to help him versus
Aren't
the
they
Demand.
paired up with Dalton though?
On ROH, I guess, kind of.
Alex is like, ROH doesn't count. We all know it.
Dalton Castle will be on commentary for their trios match. Like, let's be honest. They would absolutely steal. Jericho would absolutely go into somebody's office and say, "I need the Outrunners. Take them from Dalton Castle and give them to me." He would say that. They would do it, and that's what we're going to get. To book for maximum annoyance for me.
Now, listen. The last thing I want is Chris Jericho anywhere near gold right now. And the last thing I want is him in another faction that goes on for way too long.
I know.
If you tell me, Kate, those are simply non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Him bringing a sense of prominence to the trios division, if it's only 2 other guys, like him, not even a sense of prominence, a cachet, because there's not just like a lot of former world champs that have been hanging around there.
Why isn't your boy Kyle O'Reilly doing that with Roddy and an OC? Why is Jericho have to bring it to the trios division?
Well, somebody here doesn't like how silly they are, but I guess Jericho would be pretty silly too. I just mean that like
Jericho and the Outrunners.
Well, I'm not even sold on it being the
take Kyle O'Reilly
Outrunners.
at maximum silliness over that. Yeah.
Did something change with the learning tree? Like whoever it is.
Whatever.
I wouldn't. That would be the least offensive usage of that if you're telling me it has to be a trio and it has to be near gold. Or a stable of some sort. Because I also just would like to see, I'd be open to this forced face thing if he was incredibly sarcastic.
But he's
Because
definitely not.
I think he could pull that character off.
Well,
But I don't know.
I mean,
We're getting other people to take
Jericho
out.
intentionally sarcastic is far too close to "Hi guys," which is like I have nightmares about that. So, Tekla had a promo. She's great. Tom Valley says Tekla's for the children, and Matthew Hook says that Tekla promo ruled. She's so damn real. She cuts a promo first on Renee, who was starting to talk, and says, "Renee, you're looking lovely tonight, but nobody paid their hard-earned money to listen to you flap your lips all night. They paid to listen to the toxic spider." She's great. But she's interrupted by Alex Windsor, who does not like how Tekla is denigrating her tag team partner, Jamie Hayter. There is a back and forth that is very funny. Alex Windsor calls her a silly tit, which was not a thing I thought you could call somebody. But a match is made for Collision for the AEW Women's World Title. Tekla defending against the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, Alex Windsor.
We got some chats about this Tekla program. Matthew Hook saying that Tekla promo ruled. She's so damn real. And Tom Valley saying Tekla is for the children.
I literally just read those.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I was trying to see what scoops we had today. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm like trying to do producer things while you're talking and half listen. I'm so sorry.
Okay. It's okay. I was like, did I have a stroke and thought I said those things?
Let's pretend I didn't do that.
That's fine.
I think
That's
Tekla's great. I don't want her promos to get too silly. Like, I want her to stay calling everybody bitches and being serious, and this was a little bit leaning that way. But for Alex Windsor, like, that's fine. I also like that Alex Windsor is reminding people that she's a champion as well. Mm-hmm. We'll get to Vicky's chat, 1LT Photos, we see you. And Jan Beard saying, I don't think you read this one, because I think it got sent in the time that I was speaking. So Jan Beard said it before, but Tekla is Luna 2.0, and I love it. She is just fantastic. Like, she is... every second she's given on screen, she's capitalizing. Like, whether it's a short promo, whether it's a longer promo, whether it's her matches. And it's such a cohesive character. Like, the Toxic Spider could go wrong in a lot of ways. But, like, not with her. The "you were fired from Japan" line was pretty cute, too. And I like that Alex Windsor's kind of bringing that to the forefront. This was good.
I love that Tekla was like, first of all, I wasn't fired from Japan. Okay, I was fired from Japan.
Okay, I was fired from Japan.
that was great. I love that a lot.
She's awesome.
And then Noise says that Kate was looking at the Yankees stats, wasn't she?
I was not. I was looking to make sure. No, I don't want to hurt my own feelings. I'm not looking at the Yankee stats of the past week.
Yeah, I love it. Willow defeated Kamille. Kamille hurt her shoulder. Willow beat Kamille. Shortest match of the night?
Yeah, of course.
Single women's match of the night?
I mean, just like it's consistently and pathetically. If Mercedes Moné is not there.
They're putting two on Collision. I mean, at least they're putting two on Collision. Like, that's so we're the most we can hope for on a regular week is 3.
You have 3 women's titles. Yeah, I would fucking hope so. I'm sorry to curse, but my God,
they're doing it. We used to not get 2 women's matches on Collision. We used to get 1 on each. So we're making incremental progress. Willow defeated Kamille. She still says people who want to fight, who are new or coming back, can fight her. Returners. She's the comeback killer. And the one person that we know who needs to come back and won't have her come back killed is Mercedes.
The gateway to more screen time.
We just don't know when her return is, but I think we know the end of this story, right? Like that's how that works.
Yeah, I think I would say it's probably pretty imminent. I would have thought it would have actually been here on Spring Breakthru.
Yeah.
This match was not the greatest, but Kamille just got back, so we'll let her settle in before making too harsh of any judgments. But I am all for more women getting rotated screen-wise. Like, that's really refreshing. It's unbelievably abysmal that, like, this is the quote-unquote progress we're getting. It's pathetic. Especially when FTR is out there just, like, droning, like, we're great, and Stokely's like, did you know my client's great? Like, man, do some squashes. Do some cool shit.
Yeah. Sheeta and Stat had a backstage promo about how they're tagging together again, even after the first one did not go very well. And Sheeta does all the talking, and Stat's like, and Sheeta's working very hard to convince Stat that she's not going to attack her at some point, but Sheeta's definitely going to attack Stat at some point. So, yeah, good.
Yeah, she's certainly she's trying very hard to assure Chris Statlander that she's not going to get attacked. I like this this reintroduction of Sheeta back into the program. It's fun. Of just like, and there's absolutely no way you're going to get attacked in this process. Is pretty good. I also liked the past couple weeks we've seen her like when she's talking shit in Japanese so other people don't understand is a really fun nuance to the character, and I hope more people leverage being multilingual in that way. I think that's such a fun way to go about business.
Yeah. Sheeta's little promo was so great, says Tom Morelli. Heel Sheeta coming. Yeah, I'm actually, I kind of love the idea of her creating a little group of the unappreciated ones or something. You know what I mean? Like,
ooh, that'd be fun.
Like I when she was watching Aminata's match, I was like, ooh, Sheeta like pointing Aminata and saying, "Kill that." Like, I just feel like that would be kind of amazing, and you could easily convince me that she could throw a couple little ones in there. There could be a lot of fun.
I would love if Sheeta had this like group of underappreciated wrestlers and Mercedes tried to join it after having so many titles. That could be a really, really fun like.
And Simmons says, "I need Mercedes versus Saya Kamitani at Forbidden Door." I feel like there's going to be a lot of really great stuff coming down the pike for that, and I'm looking forward to the women's matches of maybe most of all, because the women they bring in from Japan and Mexico are always like, holy crap, I don't know anything about you, but you're awesome, and I love that part of being a wrestling fan.
I love it. It's the spirit of the event is like for that too. You know what I mean? It's really fun.
It's part of why I am not super plugged into all of the wrestling, all the places, because when somebody shows up that I have no familiarity with, I love being surprised. I love being surprised. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I watched film of him on the indies. Yeah, he's got his real solid footwork. Like I just want to be able to watch people do stuff that I've never seen before. That is a really cool moment of being a fan.
Man, it's also just I have like SP3 I think watches more wrestling than probably anybody I know. And I give him so much credit for that, largely in part because like he's not burnt out on it. I would get burnt out if I watched more wrestling than I did. Yeah. Like part of me getting so into ZSJ in 2023 was because I felt like AEW and WE were both not good. So I sought out that, and it happened to coincide with this brilliant TV title reign. But it's like I also delight in like getting to see people show up who you don't like experience before. Yeah. But if you seek that out too far, like with what we do, it can just it burns you out. Like I don't know how SP3 does it.
Jim Beard says, hear me out. Sheeta, Stat, and Willow versus the trio from Stardom at Forbidden Door. And that's where Sheeta turns and leads the stable from there. Sure.
Don't hate it. Just want to see like what Willow's got going on, because I don't need a champion not defending their title at Forbidden Door.
Yeah, that's for sure. So we have a few things here left. Eric Freed's talking about the IDK analysis earlier versus MDK. I legit thought maybe Invisible Man might get a title shot. Hope everyone in the SGS as well. Stay great, Alex and Kate. Eric Freeds is somebody who used to chat a lot on our Tuesday show, but has been absent for a while. Always great to see people homie. When they're lapsed SGS members who get to come back. That's always nice. Back, yeah.
Eric Freeds returns to the SGS. Yeah,
that's right. We got a few left over from the time from the main event. Zach sends in a Humper chat, says Sting was out here looking like insane clown posse Joe Biden, which is not a bad shout, honestly.
It's not inaccurate.
No. And so Vicky, 6-month member, sends in, my whole household is gone. I screamed so loud when Sting showed up, I made them deaf. And then says, hi, Kate and Alex. I got Sting. Darby won. Mic drop.
I love
that's my tonight.
Favorite
Vicky won. Vicky is the winner tonight. There's nobody who won more than Vicky.
Tonight, redemption for Vicky is spelled Darby. Mm-hmm. Incredible.
Jordan sends in a Humper chat saying, okay, yay for Darby. Hope it's a short reign. But if it was going to be a babyface squash like this, it should have been Brody. Sorry for yelling. I mean, yeah, there was a choice that they made that if they were going to do this, the way they were going to do it was Darby. They chose Darby. So that's the thing. And that's, you can only choose one guy to do that. And they said Darby. MJF also sends in a tweet. Not to us, but just on Twitter. Says,
to the world.
What the fuck? At TK, this will not stand. And then he says, he hit me in the dick. What kind of lowlife does that?
Oh, how the turntables. As they say.
And finally, Jambeard sends in a request for Alexi, the puppet lawyer.
You missed one.
Gary, no, we didn't.
Okay.
No, okay. We'll get it. We'll get there. That's the way how we're going home.
Oh, okay.
All right. Jambeard says once, Alexi.
That's me, the Bulgarian puppet lawyer.
To sing Darby's theme song. Okay. All right. You ready for this?
I was born ready.
Okay.
I don't sleep 'cause my head's on fire. I hate creeps and I hate liars. Oh, you want a grave-kept secret that I never tell? I'm up in heaven, but I came from hell. I fell. So did you. I fell. So did you. Did Darby write this? Because he falls off a lot of stuff. Okay. It doesn't matter what came before. I felt pain and I wanted more. Oh, I'm not settled until I've done it all and right. I split my head open again last night. Darby definitely wrote this. I fail, so did you. I fail, so did you. I don't sleep because my head's on fire. No, that's not true, though, because Darby's head isn't on fire. Other people are on fire because Darby set them on fire. Anyway, I'm going to go away now.
I think that's probably pretty incriminating to the lawsuit if he's just like rocking out to the theme on here. Yeah. But before we read that final super chat then, Alex, I did just want to say we did have a scoop that this was a likely situation that Darby would be winning the AEW championship. And because Sean's not here, and if he was, I know he would be saying to all the nerds on Twitter that like to pretend that Fightful Select WrestleVotes on Fightful Select, by the way, only report major title changes for WWE. Kiss my fantastic little butt. That's what I'm saying. Because this was the world title. It was reported by us. So you could suck it.
That's right. Ian Robinette says, and this, my friends, is and one floorball at its finest.
That was Ian Riccaboni in the chat.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously not. It's Ian Robinette, but okay.
I'm dyslexic. It's Ian Riccaboni.
I didn't realize dyslexia included putting new letters in a thing. Okay, that's interesting.
That's new.
All right. Well, that's the last one. So we are done, but we're not done because
it's WrestleMania week, baby.
WrestleMania weekend. If you enjoy our brand of ridiculousn's, you can listen to us talk about a lot more of it on the way. So buckle up, and we will see you next time.
Congratulations, Vicky. This post show's for you.
There you go. Bye, everybody.